Nestled deep in the heart of the Ardennes forest in Belgium, the Château de la Haye stood as a grim sentinel of a bygone era. Its stone walls, weathered by centuries, held secrets too dark for the light of day. For years, the villagers of the nearby town of Belgium spoke in hushed whispers of the eerie occurrences that plagued the ancient manor. Some claimed to have seen ghostly apparitions, while others reported hearing disembodied screams echoing through the woods on moonless nights. Few dared to venture near the Château after sunset for fear of becoming another lost soul in its cursed history. It was in the fall of 2023 that a group of 4 friends from Brussels, intrigued by the legends, decided to investigate the Château. Sarah, the fearless leader of the group, had always been fascinated by the paranormal. Her best friend, Mark, was a skeptic but enjoyed the thrill of exploring abandoned places. Emma, the quiet and sensitive one, was reluctant but didn't want to be left out. Finally, there was Alex, whose interest in photography promised to document their adventure. As they approached the Château, the sky was overcast, and the air carried a chill that seemed to seep into their bones. The grand entrance, with its heavy wooden doors adorned with iron studs, stood ajar, as if inviting them into the darkness within. Sarah pushed the doors open, the creaking hinges sounding like a mournful wail, and they stepped inside. The interior was a labyrinth of decaying grandeur. Dust-covered chandeliers hung precariously from the ceiling, and faded tapestries depicted scenes of medieval life. Their footsteps echoed ominously in the vast, empty halls. Sarah, armed with a flashlight, led the way, her curiosity driving her forward. "Let's split up and cover more ground," she suggested. "Emma and I will check the west wing. Mark and Alex, you take the east." Emma's eyes widened with fear. "Are you sure that's a good idea? It's the best way to find anything interesting," Sarah reassured her. "We'll be fine." Reluctantly, Emma followed Sarah as they made their way down a narrow corridor. Meanwhile, Mark and Alex ventured into the east wing, their footsteps growing softer as they moved further apart. Sarah and Emma entered a room that appeared to be a library. Tall bookshelves lined the walls, filled with dusty tomes. A large fireplace dominated one side of the room, its hearth cold and empty. Sarah began examining the books, her excitement palpable. "These are amazing," she exclaimed. "Some of these must be centuries old." Emma, however, felt an overwhelming sense of unease. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. "Sarah, I think we should leave," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Nonsense," Sarah replied, waving off her friend's concerns. Just then, a sudden gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing their flashlight. Emma screamed, clutching Sarah's arm. In the darkness, they could hear the soft rustling of pages, as if someone or something was moving among the bookshelves. "Who's there?" Sarah called out, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. There was no response, only the eerie silence of the Château. They fumbled to relight the flashlight, and when the beam finally pierced the darkness, they found themselves alone. The library was as still as a tomb. "We need to find the others," Emma insisted, her fear now bordering on panic. "Okay," Sarah agreed, sensing the urgency in her friend's voice. They hurried back to the main hall, their footsteps echoing loudly in the stillness. Meanwhile, in the east wing, Mark and Alex were exploring what appeared to be a grand ballroom. The ornate mirrors on the walls were cracked, and the chandeliers hung like ghostly sentinels. Mark was busy examining a particularly large mirror when he noticed something strange.